Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about optimization. Now that might sound like a complicated word, but it's really just the hidden engine that powers, well, pretty much everything, from delivering your packages to managing your retirement fund. And we're going to break it all down with one simple, really clear analogy.
See, when you boil it all down, optimization is just about answering this one fundamental question. How do you find the absolute best way to do something, especially when you don't have unlimited time or money or resources? You know, what's the most profit you can make, the lowest cost you can get, the fastest route from A to B?
All right, so let's jump right in. Before we can find the best of anything, we got to agree on what best even means, right? We have to define the goal of our quest.
So, in the optimization world, the fancy term for our goal is the objective function. It's just the one thing, the one number we're trying to either make as big as possible or as small as possible. Think about it. Maximizing your company's revenue or minimizing your morning commute time. That's your objective. And this brings us to the big idea for today. I want you to picture your objective as a giant landscape. If you're trying to maximize profits, it's like you're searching for the highest mountain peak in that whole landscape. And if you're minimizing costs, well, you're looking for the deepest, lowest valley.
So let's start our journey in the easiest place you can imagine, a huge, wide-open valley. There are no fences, no boundaries, no rules about where you can and can't go.
This wide-open scenario, this is what the pros call unconstrained optimization. You've got total freedom to wander anywhere you want to find that lowest point. It's the perfect place for us to start our quest.
So here's the puzzle. Imagine you're dropped right into the middle of this valley, but it's a moonless night, it's totally dark, you can't see the whole landscape, all you can do is feel the ground right underneath your feet. How in the world do you find the bottom?
Well, you'd probably do exactly what you or I or any hiker would do, right? You'd start where you are, feel the ground with your foot, find the direction that goes down the steepest, and you take a step. Then you do it again, and again, and again. You just keep taking one step at a time, always in the steepest downward direction, until every direction you could possibly go is uphill. That super intuitive process, that's literally an algorithm called the method of steepest descent.
Now, what's so cool about this is that a really simple, local, repetitive action can lead you to the best solution. You didn't need a map of the whole valley. You didn't need to see everything at once. All you needed was one simple rule. Always go downhill.
Okay, but let's be honest, that open valley is, well, it's a little too perfect. Most real-world problems aren't that simple. They've got rules, they've got boundaries and limits.
And this is where we start building fences. These limits are called constraints. I want you to think of them as building walls around a section of our valley, creating a walled garden. You still want to find the lowest point, but now you're not allowed to leave the garden. This is what we call constrained optimization.
A perfect real-world example is a factory. Say it wants to make as much profit as possible selling two types of heaters, but it's constrained by reality. There are only 60 minutes available on each of its two machines. Those 60-minute limits, those are the fences of its garden. So, all the possible production plans, every single combination of heaters the factory can physically make within those 60-minute limits, that whole area forms what's called the feasibility region. That's it. That's our walled garden. It's the space of every possible valid answer. The whole game, then, is to find the highest possible profit, which is like pushing our revenue up and up and up without ever jumping the fence. We're searching for that one perfect sweet spot right at the very edge of our garden. And here it is. This is the single biggest, most important secret for this kind of problem. That best possible solution, that point of maximum profit, is almost always going to be at one of the corners of the garden. Isn't that wild? Not somewhere in the middle, but right where two fences meet.
I mean, this is a huge breakthrough. Instead of checking every single point inside the garden, we now know we only have to check the corners. But what if your garden has thousands or even millions of corners? Checking all of them would still take forever. We need a shortcut.
And this is where our hero arrives. It's a truly brilliant algorithm called the simplex method. You can think of it as the clever gardener's secret shortcut to finding the best corner without having to walk around the entire garden.
Here's how this beautifully simple idea works. The gardener starts at any random corner. From there, they just look at the paths to the corners right next to them. And they'll only move to a new corner if it's better, if it means a higher profit. They just repeat that simple step, moving from better corner to better corner, until they're standing at a spot where all the neighbors are worse. And boom, they've found the best spot in the whole garden.
So how does it keep track? Well, it uses a tool called a simplex tableau, which is, you guessed it, basically the gardener's notebook. As you can see here, it's just a simple way to track the journey, making sure every single step is an improvement. Look at that profit go from 0 up to $480 and finally landing on the maximum of $840.
This systematic process is just incredibly efficient. It's like a guided tour of the corners, and it is guaranteed to find the absolute best one, even in a crazy complex garden with thousands of fences, without having to check them all.
So let's step back for a second. We started in a wide open valley, we built a walled garden, and we found the best corner with the clever shortcut. So why does this journey from a simple analogy to a smart algorithm, why does it actually matter in the real world?
It matters because this way of thinking is, and I'm not exaggerating, everywhere. Optimization is the secret sauce that figures out the most efficient shipping routes for your packages, the most profitable mix of stocks for an investment portfolio, the best way to schedule airplanes to avoid delays, and even how we can minimize our environmental impact.
It all comes back to that first simple question we asked at the beginning. At its heart, optimization is a powerful framework for making the absolute best decisions you can when you just can't have everything you want. It's the science of making the most of what you've got. And that's really the final takeaway here. The process of defining a goal, understanding your limits, and then systematically searching for the best possible outcome, that isn't just for mathematicians or giant corporations. It's an incredibly powerful tool for every single one of us. So I'll leave you with this. Now that you know the framework, what in your world could you optimize?